I was still on the cold airport floor when Dad's voice exploded through the speakers of my phone. "Emily! Where are you? Why did you leave the house? Who told you to travel alone?" His voice shook. Not angry, terrified. Around me, people stared as security guards rushed toward me, asking if I was the girl they were looking for. My hands shook. My heart raced. My suitcase lay open beside me, clothes spilling out like a secret I had tried and failed to hide. Then I heard Mom crying in the background. "Please," she begged someone, "find her before it's too late." Too late for what? I swallowed hard, staring at the officers moving closer, their radios buzzing. What did Dad know that I didn't? Why were they suddenly panicking after banning me from the Christmas trip? And what exactly were they afraid would happen to me? Before I could think, one of the officers stepped forward. "Emily Carter?" he asked. "Yes," I whispered. "Your father said." But his words cut off when a loud scream echoed from across the airport, a scream that made every head turn. And that was when everything changed. If you want to know why my dad panicked, why I traveled alone, and why that scream still haunts me today, then stay with me. Like, watch, and subscribe, because what you're about to hear is not just a story, it's a warning. My name is Emily Carter, and this is how everything started. I grew up in a quiet home in Denver, Colorado. Dad, Michael Carter, worked as a security consultant. Mom, Laura, ran a small bakery everyone loved. I had one older brother, Jason, who was 20 and always acted like he owned the world. Growing up, we weren't perfect, but we were normal. The kind of family that argued about silly things like who left the light on or whose turn it was to wash the dishes. But the year after I turned 15, our normal life cracked. Slowly at first, then all at once. It started with small things Dad kept from us. Late-night phone calls. Unknown visitors. Whispers between him and Mom that stopped the moment I entered the room. Jason asking too many questions. Dad snapping at everyone for no reason. Then came the biggest thing, something I didn't understand at the time. The Christmas trip. Every year we traveled as a family to visit Nana in Ohio. But that December, Dad acted strange. He told Jason to keep an eye on me. Told Mom to stay alert. He kept checking the windows like he expected someone to appear. One night, I woke up and saw shadows moving outside our house. I thought they were trees until I heard heavy footsteps, slow and steady, like someone was circling the house. When I told Dad the next morning, he didn't look surprised. His jaw tightened. His eyes darkened. "Don't ever open your window at night again," he warned. Asked why. He didn't answer. The week before Christmas, he called a family meeting. His voice was too calm, the kind of calm that comes before a storm. "We're traveling to Nana's," he said. "But Emily, you are not coming." I laughed at first. Thought it was a joke. "It's not funny," I said. "What do you mean I'm not coming?" Dad looked away. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Jason stared at me like he felt sorry for me. "It's not safe," Dad said. "For who?" "Yes. For you." My heart dropped. He said there wasn't enough room in the car, that they'd come back for me later, that Nana wasn't feeling well and they had to leave early. But I knew it was a lie. The way he looked at me, scared, protective, desperate, made it clear he wasn't telling me everything. The unfairness felt like a punch. Christmas was the one time we all became a family again. And now I was being pushed out, treated like a problem. I cried that night quietly, because crying loudly would have made Mom run into my room and hug me, and I didn't want that. I wanted answers. But I didn't get any. The next morning they packed the car and left without me. Jason didn't even look back. For hours I sat on my bed, staring at my empty room, wondering what I had done wrong. Then something inside me snapped. No more waiting. No more secrets. No more being treated like a fragile box no one wanted to open. If they didn't want me on the Christmas trip, I would go by myself. I grabbed my small suitcase, packed what I needed, took the emergency money Mom always hid in the kitchen drawer, and left for the bus station without telling anyone. I thought I was being brave. I thought this was my moment of independence. But I was wrong. Because the moment I stepped off the bus and into the airport, my picture was already on the security monitors. Officers were already searching for me, and Dad had already called 911. And as I stood frozen, trying to understand why they were terrified, why traveling alone made them panic so badly, the scream ripped through the airport. A woman collapsed beside the sliding doors, pointing at someone behind me. And when I turned around, I saw him. The man who had been watching our house at night. The man Dad had been hiding me from. His eyes locked on mine. And everything inside me turned cold. This was the moment that changed everything. This was the moment my Christmas trip became a fight for my life. The man's eyes locked on mine like he had been waiting. Not minutes, not hours, but years for this exact moment. He didn't blink. He didn't look away. He didn't even pretend to be surprised. He just smiled. A slow, cold smile that made my bones shake. The woman who screamed kept pointing at him, shouting for help, but he didn't care. He started walking toward me, steady, calm, confident, as if the entire airport existed just for him to reach me. "Emily Carter," he said, like my name tasted sweet in his mouth. I stepped back. A security guard rushed toward him. "Sir, we need you to." The man didn't let him finish. In one quick motion, too fast to understand, he grabbed the guard's wrist, twisted it, and the guard fell to the floor screaming in pain. People gasped. Children cried. Airport alarms started ringing. And I realized something terrifying. This man wasn't just following me. He was trained. He was dangerous. And he came here for one thing, me. I turned and ran. I didn't think. I didn't breathe. I just ran. I could hear footsteps behind me. Heavy, controlled, gaining speed. The airport became a blur of faces and lights and voices shouting my name over the speakers. "Emily Carter, if you can hear this, stay where you are. Your parents are." But I couldn't stay. I dashed around the corner, slipping past luggage carts and terrified travelers. I pushed through a door marked "Authorized Personnel Only," even though alarms exploded the second I touched it. Inside was a narrow hallway that smelled like metal and cleaning chemicals. My heart pounded so hard I felt dizzy. A step. Low. Heavy. Coming closer. I ducked behind a stack of folded wheelchairs, trying to swallow my sobs. My hands shook so badly I pressed them against my mouth to keep quiet. The footsteps stopped right in front of me. "Emily," the man said softly. "You look just like her." Her. Who was her? My breath hitched. He crouched down. I could see his hand reach toward the wheelchairs, as if he already knew exactly where I was hiding. Then someone else shouted, "Hey, step away from her." Two TSA agents appeared from the far end of the hallway. Their hands were on their tasers, faces stern. I had never been so relieved to see adults in my life. The man straightened up slowly, like he wasn't scared at all. "You shouldn't get involved," he said. But the agents didn't back down. "On the floor," one commanded. The man smiled again. Then everything happened at once. He lunged, not at the agents, at me. At the same time the agents fired. Electric sparks filled the hallway. The man's body jerked violently before collapsing onto the ground. I screamed. One of the agents grabbed my arm. "Are you hurt?" I shook my head, my entire body trembling. They handcuffed the man, who was still shaking from the shock, and this scared me even more. He never stopped smiling. "Your father will come for you now," he whispered. "What does that mean?" Cried. "Why are you doing this?" His smile widened. "To finish what should have been finished 16 years ago." The agent dragged him away before I could ask more. 16 years ago. That was the year I was born. What did he mean? What was Dad hiding? Why was I suddenly in danger? The TSA agents rushed me to a small airport security room. Mom was already on a video call with them, crying hysterically. Dad stood behind her, pale, sweating, running his hands through his hair over and over. "Emily," sobbed. "Are you okay? Talk to me." Dad only said one sentence. "Did he touch you?" "No," I whispered. Dad closed his eyes like he had just escaped a nightmare. But then my anger exploded. Why didn't you tell me someone was after me? Emily, you banned me from the trip but didn't tell me why. You left me alone in the house like I wasn't part of this family. Dad didn't look angry. He looked guilty. Emily, he said slowly. Please listen. There are things you don't understand yet. Things about your birth. Things we kept from you to protect you. My heart froze. My birth. Dad opened his mouth to speak. And then the power in the entire airport shut off. Lights died. Greens went black. Alarms stopped. Doors clicked open on their own. Darkness swallowed the room. Mom screamed through the phone. The TSA agents shouted for backup. Dad whispered one word into the camera. No. Somewhere inside the airport, a metal gate slammed open like a beast breaking free. And just before the room's emergency lights flickered on, a voice echoed through the darkness. She's mine. Then the security door behind me unlocked with a loud, heavy click. Someone was about to walk in. Someone who bypassed airport security. Someone who shut down the entire system. Someone who wanted me. Not captured. Not questioned. Taken. The door behind me clicked again. Slow, heavy, like someone was unlocking it from the other side with absolute confidence. Not rushing. Not hiding. Not afraid. TSA agents froze. One whispered, How is someone overriding our security from inside the airport? Another grabbed his radio. We need SWAT. Now. But the radio only let out dead static. The entire airport was offline. My heartbeat felt like it was punching my ribs from the inside. Mom was still screaming through the video call, though the screen froze every few seconds. Emily, listen to me. Don't move, don't. Her voice glitched and warped into silence. The emergency lights flickered again, painting everything in a terrible red glow, the kind of glow that makes you think the world is ending. The lock turned. Once. Blick. Then the door opened. A tall man stepped inside, dressed in a dark coat with a hood covering half his face. But even from several feet away I could feel it. He knew me. He had always known me. And I had never seen him before in my life. His voice was low, calm, and terrifyingly sure. Emily, he said. It's time. The two TSA agents moved in front of me. Sir, step back. He lifted his hand slightly, and both agents collapsed to the ground. Just like that. No touch. No weapon. No fight. They fell unconscious as if someone hit an invisible switch inside their bodies. He screamed. He took a step toward me. Dad's voice suddenly burst through the frozen video call, loud enough to distort the speakers. Run, Emily. Run now. That was all I needed. I pushed past the fallen agents, shoved open the opposite door, and sprinted into the hallway. Red emergency lights flashed everywhere, making the airport look like a horror movie. I could hear footsteps behind me, not fast but steady, as if he didn't need to chase me because he already knew I had nowhere else to go. I ran through another doorway and burst into the baggage area where dozens of suitcases moved along a conveyor belt. Two workers shouted at me, confused, but I didn't stop. Then something slammed into the metal beam right beside my head. Bullet! I screamed again. A second worker grabbed me and pulled me behind a large crate. Kid, what's happening? Who's shooting? I don't know. I don't know, cried. He peeked out and immediately ducked. His face turned white. He's walking toward us. Who is that? I didn't answer. I didn't have an answer. But I knew one thing. If he got close to me, I wasn't making it out of the airport. We crawled behind crates and machinery until we reached the back exit door. The worker swiped his card to open it, but the light blinked red. He tried again. Nothing. I heard the footsteps again. Closer. Controlled. Kid, the worker whispered. Whatever you did, I hope it was worth it. I shook my head. I didn't do anything. Then why is that man? His voice stopped. We both turned. The man with the hood was standing on top of the conveyor belt like gravity itself obeyed him. His eyes were dark, sharp, and focused only on me. "You were never supposed to travel alone," he said. "But I'm glad you did. Makes this easier." He jumped down, silent like a shadow. The worker pushed me behind him. "Stay back. I'll call for help." The hooded man raised his hand. The worker collapsed, body limp. "No!" I cried, grabbing the worker's arm. But he didn't move. I was alone. He walked toward me, slow and sure. I backed up until my back hit the locked exit door. "Don't come closer," I whispered. "I'm not here to hurt you, Emily," he said softly. "I'm here to take you home." That word, home, felt wrong coming from him. "This isn't my home," I said, shaking. "My home is with my parents." His expression shifted. Not anger, not sadness, more like disappointment. "They lied to you," he said. "Everything you think you know about your life was built on lies." My breathing got harder. "You're lying." "No, they lied. And now everything they hid is catching up." I shook my head, tears streaming down my face. "Who are you?" He paused. Then he slowly pulled down his hood. And my entire world flipped upside down. His eyes, his nose, his jawline. They were familiar. Too familiar. "You look like..." My voice cracked. "You look like my dad." He smiled sadly. "I should. We're brothers." My heart stopped. "Brothers," I repeated, dizzy. "But I don't have any uncles. Dad said he had no brothers." "He didn't lie," the man said with a tilt of his head. "Not exactly." "What does that mean?" cried. "It means I wasn't supposed to survive." The room spun. "What?" 16 years ago, he continued, stepping closer. "The night you were born, your father made a choice. A choice that saved you. And destroyed me." I shook my head over and over. "Stop. Just stop. This doesn't make sense." "That man they tasered earlier," he said. "He wasn't trying to hurt you. He was trying to bring you to me." "What? Why?" "Because you're not safe," he said softly. "Not with them. Not with anyone, except me." I backed into the door harder, hoping it would magically open. "Please," I begged. "Leave me alone." His expression softened, like he genuinely felt bad for me. "Emily, you don't understand. Someone far worse than me is coming for you. Someone your father has been running from for years. Someone who won't stop unless you're dead." My stomach twisted. "Who?" I whispered. Before he could answer, a loud explosion rocked the entire airport. The walls shook. Ceiling tiles fell. Alarms blared even louder. The hooded man's eyes widened in shock, like even he wasn't expecting that. "What was that?" shouted. He grabbed my arm tightly. "They found us. We have to move." But he didn't get to finish. Because when the smoke cleared, through the broken window of the baggage area, I saw him. Bloody, limping, holding a gun. His eyes locked on the hooded man. "Step away from my daughter," Dad growled, voice full of rage I had never heard in my life. The hooded man froze. Dad aimed the gun. "Don't make me do this again." The hooded man whispered. "Michael, don't. Let her go," Dad said. "Or I end it this time." Dad stood in the shattered window frame, blood running down his face, his gun shaking, not from fear but from rage. So much rage it didn't even look human anymore. The hooded man, Dad's supposed brother, tightened his grip on my arm. "Michael," he said carefully, "you're hurt. You can't win this fight." Dad's eyes never blinked. "I don't need to win. I just need to keep her alive." A gust of cold December air whipped through the broken window, carrying dust and smoke across the baggage room. I stood frozen between two men, one claiming he wanted to protect me, the other willing to kill for me. My voice cracked. "Dad, please tell me what's going on." His gun lowered a little. "Emily, everything I did, every lie I told, every moment I kept you close, was to stop them from finding you." Who is them? I shouted, tears stinging my eyes. Dad's brother, if he truly was, finally answered. Our family. The world stopped. Dad stepped inside the room fully, limping, holding his side. You don't get to say that, he growled. You don't get to call us family. His brother slowly let go of my arm but didn't move away. You lied to her, Michael, he said. But she deserves the truth now. I shook my head, overwhelmed. Just tell me. Both of you. Dad sucked in a breath, pain twisting his face. Emily. Our bloodline comes from a group, an organization that you were supposed to inherit. A group that controls people, hurts people. A group I escaped before you were born. My stomach twisted. His brother continued quietly. Our father was going to make Emily the next heir. But Michael, your father, tried to run. He faked my death. He faked your birth records. He disappeared with your mother. Dad clenched his fists. You were supposed to kill her the night she was born. Froze. What? His brother nodded painfully. That was the order. But I couldn't do it. I let Michael escape. And they punished me for it. Dad glared at him. And you brought them here. No, he said softly. I came alone. To warn you. To protect her. The entire airport shook again. This time not from an explosion, but from a roar of yelling voices echoing through the hallways. A step. Dozens of them. Dark figures appeared at the end of the baggage area. Silhouettes with weapons glowing under the emergency lights. Counted 10, no 15, maybe more. Dad's face drained of color. They found us, he whispered. His brother stepped in front of me protectively. You wanted her safe. Then let me help you. Dad hesitated. Years of bitterness. Years of betrayal. Years of thinking this man tried to kill me. Yet now, he looked like the only chance we had. Dad finally nodded once. Emily, get behind him. Now. I obeyed instantly. The dark figures began spreading across the room like shadows coming alive. One of them stepped forward. A tall woman in a long black coat. Her voice was smooth, cold, and deadly. Michael Carter, she said. You stole from us. For 16 years you hid our heir. It's time for her to come home. Dad lifted his gun. I'll die first. Her smile was small and chilling. Oh, you will. Without warning, everything exploded into chaos. Gunfire. Screams. Metal clashing against metal. Dad and his brother fighting side by side like soldiers who had spent their whole lives fighting the same enemy. Dad's brother threw me behind luggage carts, shielding me with his body. Someone lunged at Dad. He fired, dropping them instantly. Another attacker swung a blade at Dad's brother. He blocked it and slammed the man into a conveyor belt. One of the attackers spotted me. There she is, he shouted. He charged straight toward me. I stumbled backward, terrified. My hands shook so badly I couldn't even grab a weapon. The attacker raised his blade. No! My father roared. Dad sprinted toward me, ignoring the man behind him whose gun was aimed at his back. I screamed, Dad, look out! But he didn't. He threw himself in front of me just as the attacker swung. Pain flashed across Dad's face as the blade slashed deep into his shoulder. He grunted, but he didn't fall. He grabbed the attacker's arm, twisted it, and threw him to the ground. But then, the second attacker shot Dad in the back. The sound tore through my heart. Dad! I screamed, dropping beside him. He collapsed into my arms, blood covering his shirt. No, 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 Dad, please. His brother fought like he had nothing left to lose, taking down attacker after attacker. But there were too many. The woman in the black coat called out, Enough! Bring the girl! Weapons pointed at me from every direction. Dad's brother grabbed me and pulled me close. Emily, listen. His voice was shaking. When I say run, you run to the emergency stairwell. Don't look back. Don't stop. Don't think. I shook my head violently. I can't leave Dad. Dad grabbed my hand weakly. Emily, go. No. Go. His voice cracked with the last strength he had. Dad's brother stood, shielding both of us as the attackers approached. Now, he whispered. I didn't move. Emily, he said firmly. If you stay, he dies for nothing. Tears blinded me. I'm scared. I know, he said softly. But you're stronger than you think. The attackers raised their weapons. Dad's brother shouted, "Run!" I finally turned and sprinted, tears blurring my vision. Bullets rang out behind me. I reached the emergency door and slammed my hand against the bar. But right before I pushed it open, I heard Dad scream, a scream I will never forget. I spun around, only to see him fall, motionless, limp, blood spreading fast across the floor. Dad! I shrieked, voice breaking, knees buckling. The attackers stepped over his body like it meant nothing. The woman in black pointed at me. Bring her. 4 men rushed toward me. I shoved the door open and ran, down the stairs, through the tunnels, into the freezing night air. But as I reached the airport fence, breathless and shaking, I felt arms wrap around me from behind. A hand covered my mouth. A voice whispered in my ear. Quiet, Emily. We're not done yet. Froze. 'Cause the voice was not Dad's, not his brother's, not an attacker's. It was someone I never expected. Someone who had been watching me all along.